to Studio B. My name is Adam Stonebreaker, and this video here is about shoulders and neck. So as I talked about before, Yin Yoga is mostly about the lower body, so the bigger tissues, the thicker tissues, the drier tissues. And when we get into the upper body, the tissues become smaller, less thick, the bones become much less dense, more malleable, movable. And so we don't focus on the upper body a whole lot, but we do focus on it a little bit. The upper body typically benefits more from movement. But there are some yin-style postures we can utilize to get into these areas because we tend to hold a lot of tension in our neck and shoulders. And so I hope to show you a few different ways you can work with these areas. So the first thing we're going to do is actually the only standing posture that I utilize in Yin Yoga classes. And this is something we call dangle, and it's meant to simulate hanging upside down. And so the way we do this is usually come to all fours. And then I'll press into the hands, press into the feet, and just lift up slightly and walk the feet and the hands toward each other. Now the fullest version of this would be straight legs. I've been doing this a while, so this is how I do it. And then we just let the head hang, and I'll typically grab opposite elbows. And then at first you just kind of let the head go and rock a little bit side to side. Now if you've never done this before, then that's not going to work for you, probably. So one thing you can do is bend into the knees, and you can bend into the knees as much as you need to. You can actually bend so much that you allow your chest, your rib cage, to rest on your thighs. You could also bring your elbows to your knees and let the head hang. You could also use a block, and the block just brings the ground up a little bit. So you can put your hands here for a little extra support. And even if you're just letting the head hang, that's perfectly fine. We can use this pose for any segment of the spine. You can use it for the whole spine, like I'm doing, or you could just use it for the neck, like I was just doing before. So what's really important is that we let go throughout the entirety of the spine. So just bring your attention to your spine and just almost like you're breathing up and down the spine. And then if you're hanging fully, just rocking a little bit here, almost like wind is blowing the body side to side. The most important thing for our purposes here for the neck and the shoulders is to let the head go. So I'll nod my head yes and no, but I'll just initiate the movement and then let the head dangle there. Now I've been doing this pose a very long time, and I'm still finding places where I'm tense. So just know that when we're doing any yoga posture, really, that it's not a linear process. It goes forward and backward, and we pick up tensions all the time. Some days we're more tense than other days. But it takes a little bit of time just to build confidence in this posture, because we're told so much that the spine is very brittle, the neck is very brittle, but it's not. It's a very strong structure. So let the head go. Feel the weight of the head being pulled by gravity. And you'll start to feel the vertebrae separate a little bit. Because when we're holding tension, the muscles are tense and it's pulling, it's pressing the vertebrae together. We want to relax those muscles to allow the vertebrae to begin to pull apart a bit. And then I usually hold this for about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. And then when you're finished, you can just bring the hands back down, walk back out. And then I'll usually do just a child's pose here with a block. So I'll take the block, put my head on the block, and then just pause here. The next pose we'll do is something we call cow face pose, but we're not going to do the full version of cow face. This is basically for the chest and the shoulders that we'll utilize this. And I'm going to turn around just to show you the first part of it. So I'm just going to sit as if I'm sitting in a meditation posture. And I'll bring my left hand, and you might have a strap handy or whatever you have that's strap-like. I'll bring my hand to the back of my spine, as far up as I can get it. Yeah. And then I'll bring my right hand up, and I'll try to clasp my hands here. Now, you might not get even close to that. It might be something like this, which we can work with as well. So that's where we'll take the strap. We'll unravel the strap. So I'll walk my hand up as much as it can go. I'll bring my right arm around as far as it can go, and then I'll drop the strap, catch it, and then what I want to do is pull down with my left hand, pull up with my right hand. Yeah, I'm going to turn around so I can show you the front. So my left hand is behind me. Grab, pull. What I want to try to do here is to bring the back of my head to my forearm. And then press my head into my forearm. Pull down with left hand, pull up with right hand, and lift the chest. So there's quite a lot of activity going on here. It's not exactly yin-like as far as relaxing completely, though we're not being too aggressive. We're just adding some tension. This might feel quite uncomfortable. That's okay. But this is a way to get our shoulders to open more and our chest to open a little bit more. Yeah. And then when you're ready to release, you can release. And then I'll usually just reach the arms out, palms forward, and then bring the hands back. So I'm bringing the shoulder blades together and expanding the chest, breathing. Yeah, and then I reach up and then float the arms back down. Yeah. And then I'll do the other side. So the right arm comes behind. And you might find that you don't have as much range of motion on this side. That's perfectly okay. I have a lot less on this side than I do on the other. My left arm comes up and over. I can actually reach here, and then I do the same thing. Press the head into the arm. Lift. Pull the hands away from each other. Breathe. Yeah. And then just hold it for a minute or two. Let it go. Reach out again, expand, yeah, and then reach up. And then exhale, bring the arms down. That's a really good pose to do because especially now that a lot of us are working from home or you're over a keyboard a lot or looking at your phone, we're slouching, so a lot of our tension is going up here, but then the effect of that is that the muscles of the chest start to shorten. And when this happens, we're actually limiting our capacity for our breath and squeezing the heart. And we don't want to do that. We want lots of space for breath and lots of space for the heart. So when we open like this, and I'm opening up all this muscle from doing that, I'm making more room for the lungs to expand in my upper chest and the heart to beat. And have plenty of room to do what it does, which is pretty important stuff. The last pose we'll do is something we call Sphinx, which is really good for the whole back, but we're going to add a little bit of movement to it just to enhance it more for the shoulders and the chest and the neck. So we're just going to come to the belly. Put the elbows underneath the shoulders. Now, depending on your range of motion and how comfortable you are in the low back, you can walk the hands or the elbows a little bit more forward to bend a little bit less. You can walk the elbows in. And then you can experiment with the distance between the legs, a little bit wider, a little bit closer. And just to begin here, just feel the contact points with the ground. So the elbows, the pubic bone probably, the knees maybe, the feet perhaps. We're just going to do something really simple. Let's ground through the elbows. Because the tendency sometimes is to drop into the shoulders like this, which mimics a stress response. So we pull the shoulders away from the ears, drop the chin a bit, expand across the collarbones, breathe. And then I just want to do something really simple here. Let's bring the shoulders toward the ears again, and then bring the shoulders away from the ears. Yeah, I'm just going to do that a couple times. The shoulders, like the hips, will be limited to how you use the shoulders. So normal range of motion again versus natural range of motion. So we want to start to regain our natural range of motion, and that comes through just using the shoulders in a little bit more expansive way. Yeah. Just a few more times like that. And then next time you bring the shoulders up towards the ears, we're just going to rotate back. So bring the shoulder blades together, draw the shoulder blades down, bring the shoulders forward, and then back up towards the ears. So we're just circling the shoulders back. And be really slow, deliberate, and mindful of this. This might start to get kind of tiring, just a couple of rounds, which tells you all you need to know about how you use your shoulders. After a little bit of time, once you're back up, go the other direction. So shoulder blades in, shoulders up, and then forward. Just do that. Breathing, don't forget your breath. Yeah, and just do that, a few times. If you're really talented, which I'm not, you might be able to do one shoulder forward and one shoulder back. Yeah, or one, and then switch, which takes a lot of coordination. But that's just some fun you can have with it. Yeah, and then when you're all finished with this, it can be nice to come down flat and just make a little head support. And then we'll press back, come to a seat. Yeah. Pause as we do at the end and just feel how the body is, its current state. And as I said before, we tend to hold a lot of tension in our shoulders and our neck, and we do this a lot. I'm exaggerating, but we do this. We always have, so many people have sore necks and sore shoulders. And most of the reason of that is that we're just not aware of our neck and our shoulders. And so our tension goes here, and this happens, and we hold our shoulders like this most of the day, and we're not even noticing it. So we just kind of get used to neck pain and shoulder pain. But one of the most effective things you can do, or if not the most effective thing you can do, is just throughout your day, be mindful of your shoulders, be mindful of your neck. How am I holding my body? And once you start to deliberately do this, over time, you'll just become aware all of the time. And whenever you start to slouch, you'll have an automatic response of opening up more in the shoulders, drawing the shoulders down, and just being nice and open, lots of room to breathe, relax shoulders, and you'll have much, much less pain. Thank you for joining me for this video. Thank you.